We went for a night swim to Kyma beach,
I was behind you vibing to the music.
enjoying the music and drinks.
And I told you this. He gave me the vibe.
The restaurant guys throwing two boys out.
Guys must have been like late teens.
And he kept repeating, I'm not gay, but if I was.
Whatever. I'm a strong, independent woman.
And you have to be comfortable with your choices.
And we both know this.
Last but not the least,
You would give 100%. I would give 100%.
grass will always be greener on the other side.
I do not want to be without you.
We had a bizarre outing. Let me rephrase. We had an interesting outing, not bizarre. We had a very interesting outing this weekend. We planned to go for a night swim to Kyma beach in Dubai.
But I'm sorry, can I do a small digression?
Sure.
Before we go?
Yeah.
What is with the guns show today?
What is with the gun show? I got the shirt.
Guns blazing.
I got the shirt 3 weeks ago, I think, and I have not worn it to the gym because I was f***ing saving it for some reason.
For this.
And today, so I posted something on Instagram, on our Instagram Coffee Date Show Instagram page, and I was kind of liking the gun show in that picture. So I was like, might as well bring it to the podcast. No, hence the she's trying to pull my leg, my wife. I was already conscious before wearing it.
Well, I'm loving the gun show.
I asked
And
her,
this
should
is
I?
no push-ups, nothing to. This is relaxed state.
Okay. Can we move
You're
on?
blushing.
You know how I am with compliments, right? So, going back on topic, we had an interesting Friday evening. We went for a night swim to Kyma beach. It's a beach club.
Yeah,
with-
but it's also a restaurant. I saw they have a
beach club,
inside lounge area.
They have a pool right besides the beach, which is amazing,
nice.
beautiful concept. So you can go swim in the pool, or you can go swim in the water on the beach. This was a night swim, and it was adults only.
Thank
just
God.
the way we like it. And yeah, we just wanted to get unwind from the week, previous week. And we have done something similar before, going to Drift the other time. But this particular place is just specific to, beach vibes, beach club, lounging by the pool, having nice food and drinks, and just, overall relaxation. Now, why do I say it was interesting? Firstly, it was sparsely populated, right? There were not a lot of people.
Correct.
There were a lot of couples and then groups. And I did see, so they have this policy of no one under 21 is allowed.
Yes.
And I did see the restaurant guys throwing two boys out, right?
Yeah, these guys must have been late teens. Almost close to the limit. You could have, closed your eye or whatever, but
No, they were very specific, and
Bye.
I loved that about that place. Now, why was it interesting? Like I said before, there were couples there were groups of people, etc. But there was one group which was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All three men.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them claiming that they are brothers. And I emphasize claiming. And the third was a friend. Their overall vibe was very, what should I say? Very nosy. They were in people's business, right? One of the guys.
But they were not like that from the beginning.
Not
I think
from the-
only after the drink
the
started
alcohol
flowing.
kicked in.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
That they were like, oh, we want to make friends now.
Absolutely. And I, for one, do not trust anyone in the first meeting, no matter what they say. Actions speak louder than words for me. So every time someone says, a bunch of words, it's just bouncing off. I'm not hearing anything. Show me what Anyway, I'll get to that point. The third guy was, my wife named him Milos for some reason, was very adventurous. You're right?
Okay, I'll just give a premise of the Milos comment.
Sure.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
Serbian. So this Milos is a very common name in my country, but also it's common in Russia. So this guy gave me a full, and I told you this, he gave me the vibe of the bald guy from the show White Lotus season 3.
Right.
When those
Oh,
three
yeah.
friends
Yes.
go out with the employee of the hotel who is
Yeah.
Russian, and he introduces them to his other two friends.
Those who know, they
Yes. One of which was a tall, bald guy, and like, I think he had random tattoos. And this guy looked like that.
know. Correct.
So I was like, okay, I like to play. I mean, I'm a single child, so this is something that I used to do as a kid as well. You know, like you observe people and then you
And
kind
just
of.
give random names.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I, by myself, said that this guy, let's say he's Russian, and he looks like a Milos to me. So that's how it came.
Right.
We have no idea.
Just to complete the setting of the premise, right? So the pool is sparsely populated.
Yes.
There's a lot of space, and people are not actually getting into the pool because the water was getting a little cold, right? There were a bunch of friends on one side. We were all the way to the end of the pool, almost towards the beach, right? And we were just relaxing there, lounging by ourselves, enjoying the music and drinks. And our friend Lara had already joined us as well. So that's the site and setting.
Yeah, so we were just doing our own thing.
We were just doing our own thing. Now, these guys, like my wife said, once the drinks kicked in, the vocal cords got, busy, right? So
And also, Milos made a friend very early.
I'm getting there.
In the evening.
Milos decides that he's going to swim over like a mermaid, go over to this girl on the other side. She was all by herself, and talk her up. He did a good job talking her up. They started, frisking each other. But they got very frisky over the evening.
Very not PG-13 behavior.
Correct. Hence, I said this is all adults area, right? He brings this new friend of hers to his friends,
Friends
the
of
two
his.
guys. And now it's like a group. She's sitting in the middle and these guys are talking to her, right? I thought it was nice because he's introducing a new person to his friends, etc. I only thought that till the point I realized what was really happening, because two of those guys, not Milos, the other two guys, they approached us. Now, mind you, we were right at the corner of the pool. Me and my wife and our friend Lara. Lara was sitting on the edge of the pool. They come over, and this guy, I wanted to say something really bad. Anyway, this guy comes over, his name is Mark, and he starts randomly talking to us.
To you, not even me, to you.
So
I was behind you vibing to the music.
we were right next to each other, and his first question to us was, "Have you been to Kyma before?" What kind of a question is that? Right? Even if we have, how does it matter? If it's our first time, how does it matter? I think he was trying to separate the two of us,
Okay.
right? Now, this is my observation. Separate the two of us from his alleged brother so that the brother can speak to our friend, Lara. Because that is exactly what he was doing. And from side eye, I was trying to observe what was happening over there. Mr. Mark is extremely British. He was British. He was extremely British, right? And there's a tendency when, British people, they drink and, get a little tipsy. They like to talk and talk and talk and talk and not really listen. So he was not really focused on listening to what we were saying. He was just yappy, 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 yappy. Anyway, Mark's brother, whose name was James, both of them do not look like each other at all. There's some similarity you can find. There was none. They were structurally different, right?
Structurally.
Yes. But he kept claiming that the other guy was his brother. he starts talking to us about relationships. And this is a long-winded conversation getting into the topic of today, relationships. Mind you, this man must be into mid to late 40s, and he speaks about his girlfriend who's Iranian and how the whole situation here is causing them to, reevaluate where they want to live. He started talking about how our relationship and what we have decided, how we want to lead our relationship in the future, babies, etc. All of those things. There was a very disturbed energy I felt, because all he was talking about was his worries. He was not focused about the positives in the relationship. He was more focused about all of his worries. How will I take care of the girl? Again, this can just be a story that he was just telling us so that whatever, his friend brother can talk up to Lara. It could be whatever. My wife said this was definitely a scam. I felt the same, right? Because his energy was also very gayish, right? Nothing against homosexual men or women, to each their own. But he was pretending to sound like something he was not. And I can't pinpoint it. Like you just feel it at times, right? Because he kept saying to my wife that I'm exuberating this very masculine energy, and how he wants to dive in the middle of the both of us, and yada yada yada. Anyway.
And he also mentioned the guns.
Yes. And he kept repeating, I'm not gay, but if I was. I'm not gay, but if I was. Right? Not just to my wife, but to Lara as well. And Lara, mind you, she is from the Middle East. She's from Lebanon. She also said he's little vanilla, right? Now, where are we going with this? I wanted to focus more on the whole relationship aspect in the modern day.
Yes.
He says his girlfriend is Persian, and how they're finding it difficult, intercultural relationship, how places in Europe are not safe anymore, and that with this current situation and what's happening with Iran, that they are not feeling safe here either, and they would want to move to Spain and maybe start a life there. And then he said something very interesting.
Okay.
He said the way a man and a woman are perceived, or how society has become in the West, is very, he kept using this word equal. Right?
Because they are fighting for equality.
No, I understand. But he kept doing that. The women want to be equal. The women want to be equal. And because they want to be equal, it adds pressure on the man to be more. That's what I felt. And he was carrying that pressure into his now relationship with a totally different, cultural sensibility. Woman from Iran, who does not see a man like that. For women in the East, at least traditionally, I don't know, we'll be talking about stuff which contradicts this heavily, but women in the East and men in the East, they have very defined roles, so to say. Even though, men and women have started working and earning the same, etc., but there is still this, I don't know how to explain it, there's still this traditional way, and I kept saying to him that it might not be financial, that she is looking for a strong man, to have her back, to be with her during thick or thin, etc. Because that is what is lacking. I feel, and I could be wrong, that is what is lacking in relationships in the West, where men are saying that if you want to be equal, then you should be carrying all the responsibilities equally. Totally understand that, but the traditional male ways of protecting, of caring. And again, it doesn't have to be financial. You can care for your woman.
Yeah, but that's what usually people go straight to. When you say, take care of me, they straight think to in a financial way.
Caring, there are so many ways of caring.
Yeah, of course.
You have to be sensible towards the woman. You have to understand her needs, her wants, what's happening with her. That's care, right? Besides financial, of course. And that is something that you need to be constantly cognizant of, which I feel like is lacking. And hence, because there is this, constant push and pull and tug between the two genders, I'm sure, people would disagree. There are more. I'm just talking from a binary sense, right? Because we are talking about heterosexual relationships. Those traditional values need to be kept at a certain level for some sanity, because no, honestly, because that does not mean that you start to disrespect the other person. No, there needs to be respect for what the other person is doing for you in the relationship. Do you want to add something about this whole situation that happened with us at the pool the other day?
For me, like the strangest, like, I mean, I get it that because alcohol was involved, the person was a bit more free in asking certain questions, but there's stuff you don't really ask the people that you just met. So I was kind of kept thinking to myself, how do I answer without like
Being rude.
See, that's another thing. If it were back home, that would not be considered rude. The other person would understand the hint and back off. But, like you said, this is a different culture that they like to chat. So I'm just trying to see, like, how do I say this politely and not in a very typical Serbian way?
You can always say, this is not something that I want to talk about. Just say, this is not something that I want to talk about.
Okay, we still diverted it somehow.
I was comfortable in talking about. So what she's saying is, and she's going beating around the bush. He started talking to us about having kids and how will you raise the kids and where will you raise the kids, etc., etc. That's again a very personal question. You don't really ask that to strangers you've met like 5 minutes ago.
Friends are not asking us this, and they've known us for years.
And that's the reason why it's a personal question is because having kids is a very personal choice. When do you want to have kids? In what circumstances? What are you looking for? In your personal environment for you to be comfortable enough to have kids.
But see, also not that. This is something that my mother has taught me. Like, another reason why this shouldn't be something you ask, especially a person that you don't know. What if you're asking someone who physically cannot have children? You're potentially tapping into something that could be, painful for that person, and they don't want to talk. Or maybe they've decided they don't want to have kids. Again, it's none of your business to really like ask these things.
Maybe the biggest reason why there's this woke, situation happening in the West is because the Western culture lacks sensibility. They would not think of all of these things before, blurting things out.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Even back home, people would openly ask you, like,
but culturally,
your family members would ask you,
But culturally, why family members are asking you? They are being nosy.
They want babies.
The same happens in India. But if it was a conversation with say, Indian guys, girls, or whatever, they would never ask you this question on a first meeting. Never. They will not be comfortable because they know what it comes with. There is sensibility there, right? They will not ask you such a question and make you feel uncomfortable, unless, of course, they mean to make you uncomfortable. So yeah, I felt that was a little too personal as well, but I was comfortable in talking about it because I know exactly my point of view about the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's very personal. Whenever we are ready, we are ready. And I'm also very open to say that if we are not ready, if it's just, my wife and me for the rest of our lives, I'm okay with that. I'm very comfortable with that. And you have to be comfortable with your choices. You cannot be like, oh, someone is saying something, so I need to do it. No, you don't need to do anything unless you're not comfortable. No matter who it is, if it's your parents, in-laws, etc., whoever it is, relatives, they're not living your life, right?
Exactly.
They are not living your life. Now, let me talk about the controversy here. I genuinely believe, first of all, those two guys were not brothers.
Okay. He's very set on this. They're not brothers.
They were not brothers. The third guy, because
we didn't even speak to him.
When we asked Mark, he was like, he's some kind of Balkan. If he's your friend, wouldn't you know where he's from?
This was where I sort of started feeling of a little bit of a scammer thing, because I
sensed swinger situation, and I'll add more to that.
He asked me where I am from, because he asked us how did we meet, and I said, because he was asking how long has Aditya been living in UAE, how long have I been living in UAE.
He was very particular in asking that question,
and because I've been here way less years than Aditya, then he was like, oh, did you guys meet here in UAE? To which I answered, no, we met in my country back home. And he asked, where are you from? I said Serbia. And he points at Milos and he says, oh, our friend, he's also from one of the Balkan countries, maybe Croatia, but he doesn't want to tell us. I mean, what is this supposed to be like? I don't get it. To me, if you say something like that, you're basically trying to imply that this guy is some type of a criminal and he's like, I don't know, whatever. So that's when I immediately was like, okay, this is something very strange that you're claiming someone is your friend, but you don't even know from which country they're from.
There was an element of promiscuous behavior from that group.
Yeah, for sure. They were getting approached by the staff to calm it down a bit.
Because Milos, the bald guy, who found this girl, was getting really frisky with her. And not just him. He literally placed her in the middle of all three of them, and then Mark got with Lara and they were trying to speak, and he wanted to take her out for dinner.
At this point, we excused ourselves from the.
We bounced. We took ourselves out of the whole situation, but I felt as if there was some kind of a swinger situation happening here, where they were looking for some kind of deviancy.
No, I feel like they were scouting for people to party.
My wife knows exactly how to say things diplomatically. I love it. I can never. I would just go
clench my pearls.
I would just go to the point. Quite a small, adventure over Friday evening.
But see, I always love when people try to talk to you, because on the first approach, you have the stinkiest face.
Because I don't want to be disturbed when I'm getting my relaxation of the week. I was so relaxed. I was enjoying the music.
And
the alcohol was kicking in.
People still come up to you.
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. And on top of that, when you start talking like I said, words don't work for me. Actions do, right? And this guy was talking all kinds of
What was he supposed to do? Come towards you in a...
No, you need to be genuine in your approach. Baby, body language... I don't know if it works.
Baby, I have more body language than he has a body language.
His body language was not comfortable. He was trying to get into our circle of influence.
He was scared of guns.
I'm going to be serious for a bit. He was trying to get into our sphere of influence without even asking permission. And his approach was, have you been to Kyma beach before? I did not like it. And that's when I get guarded. Oh.
I think another thing that he was trying to test out is that he probably thought you were a guy there with 2 girls. Maybe he was trying to test out how, I mean, it was obvious you and I are a couple. He didn't know how of a serious level couple we are. He didn't know we're a married couple. He didn't know any of that. Because I can tell that his demeanor completely changed as soon as I said that we have met 11 years ago, that we were friends for 6 years, and then we started our relationship. He immediately then was like, I think he was also testing if we were just like someone who just started dating and we want to party. And, you know, as soon as he realized how level of seriousness it is, that's when he was trying. And that's when I think also the introduction of his girlfriend came in, so that he can also portray himself as, no, I'm someone very dedicated. Mind you, that when he later spoke to our friend Lara, he never mentioned the girlfriend. So I think it was just
Can I take you out for dinner, Lara? Can you give me your number?
I loved it. And she was having this conversation by the pool with them. We were back at our like cabana that we took, so we cannot hear what they're saying. So she comes back to us and she's saying that conversation. She didn't hear what he was saying to us because she was speaking to the brother. So as she's saying this to us, this is my very good friend, I have to at least be transparent to her. I was like, okay, did he at least mention to you that he has a girlfriend? She's like, no. I said, he has a girlfriend? I said, that's what he told us. So I'm just giving you the info because now I don't know what his agenda is.
Anyway, whatever his agenda was, our friend is very equipped to manage that situation. So I'm not worried about that. What ended up happening during this conversation with Mark, don't even know if that's the right name, is when he was talking, you know, all kinds of random about his Iranian girlfriend and the relationship and this and that and all the worries that he has. I have this tendency to look, when people talk like this, all kinds of bullshit, I have the tendency to look right into your eyes and I will not blink. It's a natural, it's natural, it just happens. And I was looking into his soul and I was telling him, stop, move away.
I was just missing popcorns, honestly.
Move away. And then he moved away. It worked. Yeah, quite an adventure over.
My husband has a male resting bitch face.
I just cannot. Bullshit doesn't work with me. I just cannot. Especially if it's my relaxation time. No way. Move away. You do not exist.
Run.
I wanted to use a word, but I won't. It will be too morbid. Yeah. Friday nights with the Yadavs. That is what it was. Right.
But we can take it as partially as a compliment. We attract attention.
We do attract
attention.
We're a cute couple. I think we can close it here, right?
We can.
We can close it here. My wife says close it here. Okay, so
you asked me. I didn't say it. You asked me. We can keep going.
You do what your wife says. Another relationship advice. Anyway,
no, let me just go back to the stuff that you were saying. It's a sensitive topic, but at the same time, it's like it's not that big of a deal. The West, I think, the way it's being portrayed, this male female roles and what is this and what is that, I feel like it's getting very skewed and it's getting almost to certain extreme levels that. I don't know, if you're a feminist, you're not even allowed to think in this direction and what is this and what is that. I can only speak from my own experience and be it our relationship, our marriage, be a work environment, as like in our private lives, we are in the industry that is predominantly male. Especially when you go to the mid-management level and higher management level, it is predominantly male. So it can be different setups or different treatments that you can experience. But for me at least, it was never to that extreme. I know for some people it can be completely different. But then also in the relationship, this form of, you're a strong, independent woman. Yes, you are. I'm a strong, independent woman. Like, don't get me wrong. I've lived without you. I was fine without you. It's not like I cannot be without you. It's a very different of, can you be without someone? And do you want to be without someone? I do not want to be without you. And yes, I can be a strong, independent woman and take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Like those clips, like when the husband is not home, she's freaking dragging a full cupboard on her back. And then when the husband comes home, like, can you just pick up this bag? It's nice. Like, it's a nice feeling that you have someone that first and foremost you can take care of, and then you also know that this person can take care of.
Those are the traditional values I was talking about.
Yeah, that can care of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that does not take away from your independence or your abilities or capabilities or whatever. It doesn't make you more or less a man or a woman, whatever. I loved this presentation that certain couples would have. In ideal world, every single day you would give 100%, I would give 100%. But there are days that you're not at your 100, or I will not be I'm not in my 100 today. Yeah, but he will sense that, and he will then, pick up and be like, okay, what do you need? What can I do? Or I can just go to him and say, listen, it's a very shitty day for me today. I cannot. I want to be in bed all day. Okay, fine. Be in bed all day. I will take care of everything else that needs to be done. So it's nothing wrong for, especially a woman, to say, I want you to take care of me. Because again, it doesn't even have to be in a financial, materialistic way. It can be in an emotional way. Be there for me.
Right.
Comfort me.
And that is what I was trying to explain to Mark.
Yeah.
I don't think he understood. Again, he was set in his ways. He was intoxicated as well. I don't know how much of what I was saying he was listening. But that's how it is. It's becoming very, like, there needs to be like a document on how you need to behave. No, I mean, when it comes to relationship, and I keep saying this, and I keep saying this to my friends as well, you have to be very intuitive. You have to be very in tune with your own masculine and feminine energy, because both of them reside in a human being, be it male or female, and then be comfortable in conveying that to the other person, and that's how it. I mean, I don't have the magic potion. I would not say that I do, but you just have to be. My mother used to keep saying that, son, you have to compromise. I think what she and my Indian mom, she's the cutest, because I think in their generation that is how they understood it. But I don't think it's compromise. I think it's finding a balance. Like what my wife was saying, you have to you have to find that balance. It's a pendulum. It'll keep swinging, from one to the one direction to the other, and you just have to very nicely just keep finding that balance and stay and stay there, and try to be as honest as possible, being a man or a woman in that relationship, and that is what is going to take you further.
And it needs to be a conscious decision.
Yes.
This is not something that comes just from being in love, or from the
love is very
honeymoon
superficial
phase, this and the other. No,
it will
true
never.
Deep love is exactly that. You consciously, get up every day. I'm here for you. This is what I can. This is how much I can give. This is what I need from the other side, and it's literally like it says, in sickness and in health, and in good and in bad. Like it is what it is, how it is, and
And of course, last but not the least, what I'm also seeing in newer relationships, and we will talk more about that in the next episode. This is a good segue for the next episode.
This definitely needs a part 2.
We will definitely record a part 2 right now. I'm gonna stop it here, but just to complete the thought, options will always be there. You will keep having options. You need to decide who works the best for you, and then stick with that person. Because for every individual, and I've said this before, you will have someone who will, like, it's not even an 80-20 rule. It's maybe 60-40 rule, right? 60% works, 40% doesn't. You just have to take those odds and, run away with it, because you will never be able to find that perfect person. Never.
Because no one is perfect.
That perfect person does not exist, because grass will always be greener on the other side. And if you cannot make a decision of sticking with whoever you have in your life at that moment, and if that person makes you feel good, that's it. End
But
of
also,
story.
can I just correct you in a way? The grass will always be green on the other side if you convince yourself that it's green on the other
But
side.
because of the what I was saying was because of the options. There will always be options, and especially in this world with social media, you are constantly bombarded with so many things.
But again,
right?
how much of that is real?
But that's what the Gen Zs and of the world are living on. They're living on freaking social media. That's
Yeah.
their world.
I understand, but you don't.
And that's the generation that's having more trouble with relationships.
For me, again, I can only speak from my experience. How I knew that I wanted to be married to you, and I knew that I found my person for the rest of my life, is that given we had that very long period of really getting to know each other, and we knew literally everything.
Almost 6 years.
We knew literally everything about each other. But it was of just one, and it wasn't even of, oh, he's gonna, lavish me every day. He's gonna buy me flowers. No, it's because I could sense in this man that if any type of is to happen, he will be there for me.
Okay.
Because everything is
Thank
easy.
you.
Everything is easy when it's all nice and rosy. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You want that every single day.
And trust us.
You get to know.
First few years of our marriage was really tough.
But not because of you and me.
No, the circumstances
The
we were
situations
thrown in.
around us
Yeah.
were kind of,
So yeah, it's not really hunky
circumstances.
dory.
So, but there was always that sense of safety of he is here to stay, and I am here, and I'm here to stay, and we both know this in every situation that happens. And for me, that is a true testament of, oh, I found someone that,
Thank you. That's a beautiful compliment, my love. But it's not me. It's not me. Someone else is taking care of us, and we should be more cognizant of that as well. You do not do anything. It's not in your control. It's the Almighty who's looking after us.
yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and that's why I said thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Plus, I like your guns.
Thank you. That's it for this episode. Like I said, night swim. What a situation, right?
It's almost like a perfect opening of a horror movie.
Guys, do like, share, and subscribe. Comment, please. We would love to hear more from you. I know this is a new podcast, but this is something that we really enjoy doing, and we would love to continue this journey with you guys.
Yes.
And that's it for the show. Thank you so much.